Raise it up to 120,000. Ryan Reese is going to call here with the tens. So very exciting. 250,000 in the middle. We're going to go to a flop. This should be a spicy. Big blind versus cutoff. Yeah, dealer hair is pretty swag, isn't it? I like it. A lot of comments on the hair, but it is intense. I'm digging it. Alexandros with the king queen under the gun. We'll raise it up 27,000. Carlos with the same hand, just alternating suits. You don't like king queen in the spot. It's not very fun. Like re-raise or fold is my strategy here, because it sucks to play king queen like 3-4 ways. Sucks to get squeezed with king queen. We haven't seen any squeezes yet, by the way. It's very interesting. Carlos is going to 3-bet, which I like. I think this is the right move. So let's see what happens here. That's it. That's it. Take it down. They are magical. I believe it, man. The thing is, the only one I'd had before, Timido, was very salty. Do you get around that, or is it just always a salt bomb? How does it work?
First day of 5 days of coverage.
To be fair, the best sandwich I've ever had was not... I don't think it was really like a Philly cheesesteak, but I think it would have been similar. The best sandwich I ever had. It was called the Sirloin Cheddar Grill. Tony Roma's, man. I'm going to make you guys hungry. I don't know if you want me to talk about it. I'm going to make you hungry. It is what it is. So I used to make it because I used to be a cook when I was like 16, 17 at Tony Roma's. All right. So here's the story. You take sirloin and you slice it into thin shreds and you grill it up in some garlic butter in a pan, right? So quick grill, thinly sliced, so it's like crispy, you know? Not crispy, but like well done beef, okay? Then you take some Texas toast, which basically just means thick toast. You butter that, both sides. You put a slice of cheddar cheese on it and you toast it, okay? Good. You got some toasted bread. You've got some grilled, greasy sirloin. And then you have some onion rings and you fry those. And then you take a slice of tomato and you put all this on. And then you take this barbecue mayo sauce, which is basically, you know, half mayo, half barbecue. You put that on the sandwich and then you cut it. Delicious, man. Literally, there's no better sandwich. It's the best. The best sandwich. Just I moved out now, living in my first ever apartment. I've only got about 200 until my paycheck on the 25th. What do you recommend I should eat to save some money? Chicken breast and rice. Kebab. Probably like rice for sure. Like rice should be your carbs, I would say. And then I don't know what's really cheap on the vegetable front. I don't know. I've never been in that spot, to be honest. So I've never really had to like rough it for food or like wait till my next paycheck, luckily. So I don't know. Maybe the chat has some recommendations for you. But my perception is that the cheapest protein is going to be chicken, and then the cheapest carb is going to be rice. I don't know what the cheapest vegetable is going to be. Beans, yeah. Rice, beans, pasta, yeah, that's true. Beans, onions are cheap, right? Frozen mixed veg, yeah, that's a play. I've had that. Eggs. Ground beef, onions, rice, yeah. There you go. Cheapest meat is pork. I didn't know that. I'm learning all sorts of things. Thanks, chat. If everything just goes to shit, you know, and poker just disappears as a game, and online poker gets shut down in every country around the world, and Twitch says, hey, you can't stream anymore here, and YouTube says, hey, you can't upload videos anymore, and I've got no income, I am going to be using these tips. It could happen. You never know. You never know. All right, so we've got a same hand here with slightly different suits. We go to a flop of queen, queen, 10. They both have to be pretty happy with the situation, right? Like, you know, you're not too concerned. on the queen, queen 10. I think if you're Gagliano, you could either bet or check here. Both are fine. But we're going to see a bet.
Queen, queen, 10 sees both players making queens and 10s. Alex does see bet 25k, having opened a 30k pre-flop. See Carlos doing anything but calling here.
So bet at 25k. And if you're Carlos, I think I like calling here. Your 10 is not a very high kicker 10. You very likely have the best hand, but you don't want to play a huge pot. And I don't think you're quite vulnerable enough with your 10-8 to like bad turns and rivers to make it a raise. So I think it's just a call. But is that a raise? That looks like a raise. It's a raise. I don't love it. I don't love it. But if you're Gagliano now, I think you should call and then see a turn.
Weaker queens and 10s.
I live in Sweden, so food in general is often really high quality, but comes at its cost. But I'll take the tips of pork and chicken and pasta and rice. I do make a mean chicken pasta pesto dish. There it is, bro. Killing it. Kebab. Killing it, man.
Three on the turn.
Okay. So Michael calls a check raise. And now what does Carlos do with the 10-8? Like, do they bet really small again, like 1/3 or 1/4? Or do they check now? I would assume it would be like actually a small bet. Once you decide to check raise, you should probably continue and bet like 1/3 to 1/4, somewhere in there, you know, like 75,000. But I don't think you should check raise in the first place. So, yeah.
Now Alex to check.
Carlos is going to check. Now, we know they both have the same hand, so it's likely going to go check and get to showdown, and it's all going to be fine. But Carlos does put himself in a lot of bad spots, I think, by check raising here on the flop.
Horrible to bet here in face of raise.
Funny story, I didn't know how to spell kebab when I made my first ever World of Warcraft character, so it became kebab with the I, because that's how you pronounce it in Sweden. Lol. That's funny. That's funny. Check, check.
Wow.
Ace in the river.
Wet card on the river, ace of spades.
Now, what do either of these players, like, what does Carlos do? Carlos check raised with the 10, and now an ace comes off. Yeah, are you bluffing? No, or what? Like, you know, it's just, yeah, it's weird. Michael Gagliano, if it checks to him, I'm assuming is just going to check here and be pretty happy about it. But if Carlos bets, it probably works. Looks like he's thinking about it. Back and forth. Check. Probably check, check here.
Carlos checking just in time. Now to gags. What better hands can he make fold?
Check, check.
Many, he says. Checks back. And there we go.
All right. There's a lot of drama for the same hand. A lot of drama for the same hand. You know what I need? An extension cord. I wonder if we can get it same-day delivery on Amazon. Hey, Rebecca. This is your fiance, Jamie Staples, coming to you live from the Twitch streets. We need an extension cord. Do you think we can order it and get same-day delivery? Or are we going to the grocery store at 2 in the morning and we can buy one? Probably not. Just was on my mind, so I wanted to get it out of my mind. Hope you're having a great day out there in the living room.
Exclusively on Poker Go.
We got the Poker Go ad coming in hot. And 3 months later, still want that that affiliate deal, Poker Go. Come on, man. Let's get it going, Poker Go. I don't want to be political. Uh-oh. What are your thoughts on marijuana? I would view that more social than political at this point. I'm a Canadian, so I don't use marijuana myself, but I have nothing against it either. You know, like it is legal in my country. Lots of my friends use it. Some of my extended family use it. It's like the stigma is zero to me. But I personally don't use it. I'm trying to be as straight edge as I can, you know, trying to eliminate as many vices and escape from reality as I possibly can. So, like, I don't drink. I don't smoke cigarettes anymore. I quit those 7 months ago. I don't smoke any pot, do any drugs. Not that I'm against it, dude. It's just like I want to operate on a high level, you know? And I don't want to I want to try my best to like be as strong as I
Oh,
can without those
that's a good
crutches. You know what I'm
start.
saying?
That's a nut flush. Jack 10-6. Unfortunately for him, for us, there's nothing on
So Audrius with the absolute dream, flopping the flush. Faraz Jacques with the 3-5, raising it up on the big blind. Very aggressive raise here from Faraz Jacques. I guess thinking that he can get a lot of folds out of the remaining two. Or no, in the big blind. Ah, I had it confused. I was thinking button. In the big blind, he called. Right, that makes sense. Check at the flop, and now 3 on the turn. This makes a lot more sense now. Audrius going to bet 32,000. And what does Faraz Jacques do here? The bottom pair, really not much of a kicker. And that's it.
Elicit a fold. The players, of course, talking about that 25.
Audrius takes it down. That's it. That's it.
Of course, we are watching on a delay. Delay's about 45 minutes, so as far as they're aware.
Are you going to be playing any today? Yes, we have a home game actually, starting in 2 hours and 40 minutes. So you can play with me as well if you'd like. So I'll be hopping in some tournaments then. But we're going to do commentary until the end of this day 1A. All right. How can we see their cards? What's up, Holy? This is an event that happened late November, actually. So we are doing commentary on it. Just stick to crack. All right, thanks, Gutters, for the advice, bro. Gagliano with the ace-king, going to raise it up here to 30,000. And Alexandros with the 8s now in the cutoff. The blinds are 6K, 12K. So Michael Gagliano started the hand with around 35, 36 big blinds. Most everyone has a vice. Indeed, my friends. Myself included. I've had a lot more, and I'm eliminating them, which is difficult. You know, it's really hard. It takes a lot of persistent efforts, difficult times, you know, counseling, patience, but I'm getting there. It's tough. Where do I watch WSP VOD? I don't think you could find it. Ryushin. The World Series of Poker doesn't really stream on Twitch. It is the biggest tournament in the world, the World Series of Poker main event, yeah. All right, so we're 4 ways to flop. Michael Gagliano with the ace-king, hitting the top pair, top kicker. Alexandros with a bad flop for the 8s. Carlos misses as well. And Philippe has the worst hand here in the big blind. But, you know, got in there really cheap. Yo, Claustrophobia, what's up, man? Good to see you in the house. It has been a while. Gags is going to bet 50,000 here into 123K.
Can be called by worse.
And now Alexandros. Difficult, but I'm just going to fold if I'm Alexandros here. You know, with the 8 high flush draw, 2 unknown players behind. Pre-flop razor continues. I think it's a good fold and good pot there for Gagliano. What are your thoughts on the Triton high-stakes cash games? If you're staked, would you attempt it? From Kebab. Well, I'm really focused on the stream, so I probably wouldn't go to Triton unless there was a really specific reason to do so. But I think they're amazing content. And in fact, I'm hoping to reach out to Triton and see if they would let me cast some of their previous content and go over it here on the channel, because I think it's really great and interesting, you know? So I'm actually going to reach out to them and see if they would be okay with me, like, recasting some of their events from the past, because I'd love to watch that stuff, you know? Frozen Wolf, have you ever played an Ignition? No. So back before I was ever assigned poker player, and I was 4 years with PokerStars, and this is my first year with Party Poker now. So I guess 5.5 years ago, I had an account on Bovada, which I think was Ignition, right? But I haven't since.
And again, Philippe finding himself on these spots.
Gunners.
Folded ace queen. Ace queen again this time. Situation. Wants it go.
When you say Alexandros, can you put the tone on the E? That's the correct name in Greek. Okay, well, this is new to me, so please teach me. Alexandros would be Alexandros. Is that it? Alexandros.
Been on the more cautious side. Well, you can
So
see
kind of
the
like
has on
Alexandros.
Alex is shot.
Alexandros.
He elects not to, so for us perhaps picking up.
Woo! We're Greek now, chat. Let's go.
Some of these other guys, he's going off.
Alexandros.
His open,
Okay.
even though it was early position.
Killing it, man. Is that common in Greek to put the emphasis on the E? You're ready for summer in Greece. I would love to, but the problem is with Greece is your guys' tax laws when it comes to poker, right? Like where it's taxed daily and stuff. So I don't think I'd be able to play on global party pool, global player pool on party poker in Greece. I doubt I would. When do you think the poker revival will happen? Well, I don't think it's going to happen with a big bang. I think if it's going to happen, it's going to be slowly. I don't think it's going to be like the parabolic spike like we saw, 20 years ago. And I think if poker's going to have a revival and a growth, it's going to be through online. Live, I think, will always be well, but live isn't innovating or changing. It's the same. So people will continue to love playing live poker, but I don't see live poker growing to be like twice as important as it is now. Because why? There's nothing different about it. But online poker has the ability to be different than that because it's a game in a digital sense, right? So digitally, there's so many cool things we can do with poker online that we can't do live. So if someone essentially makes the game within the game of poker really, really great, makes it essentially the Candy Crush of poker, and I don't mean like the game of Candy Crush, I mean the gamification of poker on the side, and creates alternative things to shoot for and to work towards in poker. Kind of like World of Warcraft has games within the game or games built on top of the game. If we can do that in poker, then I think it has a chance to really thrive and grow. If we keep doing the same things, it's not going to. Why would it? Why would it? If we do the same thing year after year after year after year and we don't change anything, then it won't grow. So someone's got to be bold and make big innovative moves to the game. And that doesn't mean like little pieces of like, we're just going to add little bits of this and this and this. Like there's got to be a big move. A significant investment in making the game more enjoyable to play. But that's tough to do, right? Especially when you're taking a gamble, you're taking a risk that it's going to work. When you can do small incremental things that you can measure are going to make you X amount of money. So, we'll see.
Philippe does find the bluff on the end.
All right, there we go.
Gets it through. You definitely have some queen X that's checked twice. That's river, even a king perhaps.
Oh, they might have been like an opening event or something. Oh, they could bring it for other. I think it's a circuit. It might be a circuit down there. Yeah, like they give playing a lot of tournaments now. Huh? Oh, I thought it was just for the main. I didn't know. Oh, okay. I think it's a full circuit stop. He didn't want his button. So, I mean,
bro, do you know what I hate? Poker friends of mine that have started playing slot machines online. I hear you, cuckoo. I mean, I don't really have anything against slot machines, but to me, it's a completely different game than poker. Like slot machines is like pure recreational education, like recreational fun, purely just short-term enjoyment. But there's nothing long-term about it, right? Like there's no long-term journey or goal. Like it's just instant gratification with nothing from it. You know what I mean? I do watch some casino streamers here on Twitch, and I really enjoy that, actually. I don't play myself. I enjoy watching. It's a fun sweat. It's funny to see people react and money fluctuate and stuff like that. But, poker is just different. You know, it's like there's so much more depth to it as a pursuit.
Fold so often.
The fact that it's human versus human as opposed to human versus machine as well. Like in itself, it's more interesting. But then also slot machines
14,000.
are better at like gamifying and being engaging that way, you know. So they can win on that front.
He's in with a check raise. Holding that 8.
So we get a check raise here from Adrius,
Overcards that 8.
which is again, like, I guess protecting equity. We've seen people do that so often with second pair. Adrius going to take it down with the 8. So often we've seen that on this ace-8. But is it going to work out against Faraz Jaka? It's very interesting.
Yeah. Play one high roller. Play double side events.
Can you play GTO in slots?
I mean, I was breaking even on the whole.
Well, yeah, but the GTO is going to be losing no matter what. Like, you can... There's going to be... If there's ever a decision in the slot machine game, there's going to be a correct and an incorrect way to play it, but no matter which side you choose, you're going to be losing. Just one you're going to be losing more at, you know? Maybe you lose 4% if you choose this strategical decision and 5% if you choose this one. But most slots don't have any strategy, and it's just purely sweat it, you know? But I really can't hate on people that enjoy playing them. It's just, like, very different than poker, you know?
Queen of spades.
I don't think, you know... I don't think there's any point in vilifying the choice to gamble. That's fine. But poker is so different. They really shouldn't be grouped together. But they are. So it is what it is.
Gerg is coming in for a 3-bet.
Raise from Philippe with the king-queen suited. Adrius in the small blind is going to 3-bet to 102,000 now.
8. Just one
And Gagliano with 8s in the big blind and 507K.
pretty snug.
We've seen this spot so often as well. The blinds are a little bit higher here. But yeah, I would fold again. We can of course see 8s are doing well, but in game, I think this is too wide of a hand to go on with.
Oh, he does decide to move it in.
Wow. Okay. Gagliano goes all in.
He'll do this with
I think it's a little bit too wide. I think it should be probably 10s plus here.
Audrey's asking for a count, but there's
But we're of course going to see Adrius fold
just save
with the
face
queen 9
here.
suited, and
Guys find out
Gags takes it down.
It was of course a light 3-bet. Well sniffed out by Gags. Saying 8's just a little too strong to fold. Audrey's first 3-bet at this table. Met by a cold 4-bet jam.
Gagliano takes it down. 130,000 coming his way. Up to 661. Off to kind of a slow start as well. It's a nice pickup. What about betting on AIs playing poker? Will it make the boom? I don't think so, Ryoshin. Actually, I think AIs is maybe one of the biggest threats against online poker. People automating decisions, or trying to automate decisions, or just automating the whole thing. You know, there's ways that sites can combat that and work against it and work to verify that an actual human is playing. And there's a lot of interesting and intuitive ways to do that. But it is, you know, online poker loses its appeal if that becomes a big issue. It loses its appeal because then it kind of becomes like those other games where it's like you're playing against a machine, and now maybe the host is just a different player, but it's kind of effectively the same thing. You know what I mean? You're not playing against an actual human, so that is an issue. Ryan Reese raising it up in the cutoff with the 10s. Alexandros in the big blind with ace queen of spades. Very interesting here because they're pretty deep stacked and both players have a really good hands.
Sizable 3-bet. Sure enough.
Alexandros
Just
goes for
over
the
4x out of the big.
Alexandros. Ah, I forgot. Alexandros. I forgot my Greek for a second. Raises it up to 120,000. Orion Reese is going to call here with the 10s. So very exciting. 250,000 in the middle. We're going to go to a flop. This should be a spicy. Big blind versus cutoff. 2 World Series of Poker main event champions. Alexandros, the main event in Europe. Ryan Reese, the big one in Las Vegas, which is about 8 times the prize. World Series of Poker main event champion. Maybe 5-6 years ago, something like that.
Not a thought he was hoping to see.
2 main event champions fighting it out. King 6 deuce, 2 diamonds. Both players mix. Alexandros bets 90,000. Ryan Reese just quick. Bam. Folds it. Whoa.
Wow.
Damn.
Folded those 10s very quickly
That very quickly, man.
for a 90,000 chip bet.
I am surprised. Maybe he thought he had a read. I'd call. At least the flop.
That's a very surprising fold from Ryan there.
Maybe he's hungry. He's got the salad on the go. Dealer's hair is very cool. Dealer's hair is winning. Everyone loves the hair. Everyone's a fan so far.
I think it's okay to use a phone as long as you put it below the table so the cameras don't see. As long as you like hide it, basically. Okay. they don't want to see them on the stream, basically.
Philippe is going to raise it up with the 8s here to 28,000. And I'm assuming a fold here from Alexandros. Blinds are 6K, 12K still. And folds around to Carlos in the big line with 10-7 offsuit. It's like, as to whether you want to play this or not. You know, you have a raise from who seems to be a tight player in early position. But it also is cheap to call. I think a fold is better. And we do see a fold. Not digging her hair. All right, Gunners is not a fan of the hair. Fair enough. I mean, even if you don't find it, like, artistically, there's got to be some respect for it. Because the execution is incredible. Very good execution.
I think
It makes it less like hush-hush.
Yeah.
You know, like, I don't know. Just,
I think it's a great idea, actually.
You got to respect the execution, whether you like it or not. Execution is strong.
Yeah, that's a great idea. We should, I mean,
I'll give her some respect and credit. All right, Gunners. Yeah. I think she deserves the execution love. I like it, though. I think it's swag.
I think they were some final table where like everybody was like on the dinner break, they all like watched it together or something.
yeah.
Like,
See, I don't know.
Philippe under the gun with the Jack-9 suited. This is pretty wide open here.
Raising again this time.
8-handed. Jack-9 suited is like it's a little bit of a yikes. Ryan Reese with the call here as well. Also very wide. He's got to assume that he has a pretty big edge at the table. But to be fair, we haven't seen very many squeezes at all. This table has been playing, on the whole, a little bit passive. Not quite as aggressive as you typically see in like an online high roller type tournament. And Carlos is going to call in the small blind as well with the king queen suited. And we go to a flop. How did the term under the gun come about? I don't know for sure, but I'm assuming it's like Texas kind of Western folklore of like shootouts. Like you're under the gun, like you're in a shootout, right? If you're under the gun, that means like you're your first act, you got to be ready to act. It's you're first, like you're gonna get shot. You know, like you're under the gun. I'm assuming that's where it came from, but I could be wrong. Ace 10-7. No one hits a pair. Philippe with the gut shot, the Jack-9. Carlos with the gut shot, Jack for the nuts, and Ryan Reese with the underpair. Now we see Philippe has the best hand right now with this Jack-9. Carlos still has about 21% to win the hand, and Ryan Reese has 5% with the 2s. Those percentages don't matter because it depends who's going to get to showdown, right? So it checks to Philippe. And what do you do here with the Jack-9? You raise a pretty weak hand. If you're betting, you're really bluffing here if you bet. But it doesn't feel very good to check call either. Yo, Real Sir Chancelot dropping the 31-month resub. Welcome back to the team, Real Sir Chancelot. Thanks so much for your support, man. I really appreciate that. Welcome back to the team. Sub number, 18 on the day. Damn. Oh, yeah, Gunner's dropping that 10 sub bomb. That makes sense. Thank you, Sir Chancelot. Now, Philippe, picking up the 9 on the end.
Carlos thinking about doing something.
Trip 9s for
Right, we
Philippe.
have an ace here. Try and make a hand like deuces fold, maybe a hand like jack 10 fold.
Carlos, thanks forever in checks. It's kind of cold in here, man. I think we need some heat in the house. We need some heat in the house, man.
Philippe with just a decision of how much to bet. Going very small or pretty large are the best options.
Philippe's going to go for the bet. And I don't think I'm going to get any action here. Like, I don't think either player can really bluff that well. Now, it's interesting for Carlos, I think, because
Possible Ryan.
'Cause
Or Carlos could have a 10 in this
when you
pot.
think about how many 9s Philippe has, it's not many. You know, we saw Philippe raise under the gun. How many 9s raise under the gun?
Both
Not too many.
circles do fold.
Ace 9's going to bet either the flop or the turn. You know, 10-9 suited is probably going to bet the turn as well. So, like, 9-8 suited and I guess Jack 9, which you wouldn't even expect. Really, there's very few jacks that under the gun is representing.